Welcome back. We've got a lot to get to this morning. A new CNN SSRS poll has Joe Biden up 5 points over President Trump nationally, 51 to 46%. That includes a 15-point lead among voters 65 and over. Trump won that voting group over Clinton in 2016 by 7 points, according to exit polls. A new internal poll in Georgia shows Joe Biden and President Trump in a dead heat in that state. The poll, conducted by Public Opinion Strategies, commissioned by a political action committee supporting Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, shows Joe Biden and Donald Trump separated by 1 point, 47 to 46%.
I'll tell you what, that polling out in Georgia is so suspect, Willie, because Public Opinion Strategies has only been like one of the top Republican pollsters for years. They were my pollster, by the way, and been doing it for a very long time. They usually get those races right. But, Willie, somebody said yesterday, you can't really trust Georgia. I mean, a lot of libtards down there. That's a left-wing coastal elite state. Actually, it's the second state, the second poll in a row, that Donald Trump is basically tied in Georgia. We saw the Dallas Morning News poll last week that showed Donald Trump, or was that this week, tied in Texas. Like, he's losing poll after poll after poll. And here's a news flash. And Donald, I know you hate it when I tell you the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Please don't tweak them.
I'm gonna say again, Donald. I'm gonna say again, Donald. These senior citizens that you're lying to, you're putting their lives at risk.
Well, they know it.
And now they know it because, as I told you months ago, I think it was, Donald, hey, Donald, put down your phone and listen for a second. These seniors, they go to doctors they've known for 25, 30 years, and they say, is the president telling the truth or is Fauci telling the truth? Doctor said, listen, I voted for Trump last time, but he's lying to you about your health, and this is very dangerous. Now, see, I warned you about that, and you got really mad, I guess. I don't know. But it's happening, Donald. It's happening. Seniors are breaking away from you in swing state after swing state, even states that aren't swing states like Georgia. And, Willie, you look, every poll we're showing, senior citizens are just saying no to the lies of Donald Trump, the deadly lies of Donald Trump about their health. And he's got, he's also got his economic people saying, hey, go out and rush out like weeks ago. You know what? Seniors are going to die. Yeah, it happens. Donald Trump himself said, hey, people are going to die. So just go out and start working. There's no balance. There's no nuance. There's no safe stepping back into the economy. It's all, Donald Trump saying ignore the White House guidelines. And we see in these polls again, Willie, senior citizens, they know what's going on. They've been around a while. They're kind of smart. They talk to their doctors and they realize Donald Trump is putting their lives on the line.
Yeah, and it's affecting either them or someone they know. We saw that poll a couple of days ago in Wisconsin, a 20-point spread for Joe Biden among older voters, and this CNN poll has it at 15 points nationally among voters 65 and older. What's also interesting is President Trump's, because he doesn't have the economy to lean on, which was going to be the theme of his reelection campaign, he's now moving toward, and there's been a lot of reporting in the last couple of days on this, a campaign theme against Joe Biden, that Joe Biden is old and doddering because he's 77 years old. He'll be 78 on Inauguration Day. Donald Trump, 1 month from today, Jonathan Lemire, turns 74 years old. We don't need to roll out the clips of his presentation often to show that it's equally doddering many times to Joe Biden's. Is that an effective campaign theme, number one, given his comparison on that matter to Joe Biden, but number two, given his standing with older voters, which is slipping in the middle of this pandemic?
The Trump campaign thinks it is. They've been laying the groundwork for this for months. The tweeted clips, the videos, the president calling Joe Biden sleepy and so on. Although, of course, living in glass houses seems to be the warning here for that particular line of attack. What the Trump campaign is also really leaning into, and this is another one that feels like rubber and glue might be the best analogy, is really trying to lean into Joe Biden's ties to China. So yeah, when he was vice president, that he was too soft on China. in terms of he was President Obama's point person to Asia, suggesting that he supported a lot of sort of global trade deals that were beneficial for other countries and hurt some of the manufacturing and factories in the Midwest. They leaned into that in 2016 as well. Obviously, the president, as has been well documented on this show, has also been very full of praise for China and Xi Jinping, the leader there, for its handling of the pandemic in the early stages. He has since, of course, has become quite critical of that. But the Trump campaign has been saying in recent days that as they've leaned into that ad, they've unleashed some attack ads. They're seeing some movement there. They're seeing some room to grow there because they feel like right now there's not much they can do to sort of improve the president's standing among voters. They need to focus, therefore, on driving down Joe Biden's standing with voters. Senior citizens, a real concern. Their polling, their internal polling shows real slippage there. They know they can't afford that. Seniors really supported the president last time around. He had a rather healthy margin against Hillary Clinton with that age group. He needs to duplicate that now. But I will say this. One other piece of news, that same CNN poll that has Biden up nationally in the 15 battleground states, Trump has a lead. That poll, there's a greater margin of error, but that poll shows Trump up 7 in the 15 battleground states, the states that are probably going to determine this election. So the Trump campaign, they're hopeful that they've stopped the president's slide, even though, as you point out, a place like Georgia, if that's in play, that opens up more paths for Biden to the White House. But those battleground states, they remain close, and they're going to be ones to watch. The president's team, for what it's worth, they feel better now than they did a couple weeks ago.
Well, they clump together 15 states. You look at every individual state poll that we've shown, whether it's Wisconsin, Biden's ahead there. Michigan, Biden's ahead there. Florida, Biden's ahead there. Pennsylvania, Biden's ahead there. Georgia, in this poll, Biden's ahead there. Tied in another Georgia poll. Tied in Texas. Arizona's tight. The Senate for Republicans slipping away by the day, they think. So a lot of very bad things going on. And, you know, it's very interesting. In 2016, Mika always brought up the fact that all of Donald Trump's weaknesses couldn't be exploited by Hillary Clinton because if it was about being honest and trustworthy, Hillary's honest and trustworthy numbers were just as low as Donald Trump's. She'd been in the office for 25, 30 years, battered in public for 25, 30 years. And so she couldn't debate him on that. Whenever she talked about sexual harassment, then Donald Trump would start attacking Bill Clinton. That always neutralized that argument. So all the arguments always seem to be neutralized. Jeffrey Goldberg, we now find Donald Trump in the same position in 2020 that Hillary Clinton was in 2016. He wants to say Joe Biden is doddering. There's about 10 minutes of Daily Show clips that show Donald Trump forgets what he's saying halfway through his sentence time and time again. Thanks for checking